Yo, how we doing? Phil James, and I am coming right back at you with another video. Today is September 18th, and it is 2017 still. So, obviously, if you are in the truth community, or you are religious, you have heard of the Revelation 12 signs. Now, you know, at first when reading or looking into this, you might think nothing too great, nothing, you know, maybe it's not true, maybe it is true. Nobody knows when the apocalypse and the rapture will come. If some people don't believe in the rapture, some people don't believe in Bible prophecies whatsoever, which now, you know, I was one of those people back years ago. But nowadays, after looking at everything going around and then the absolute perfect descriptions of the events in which I'm referring to, makes it kind of challenging to not believe in scripture prophecies being completely and totally true. Makes it very challenging. So, with that being said, oh, actually, you know what? I'm going to look something up. Also, something different that I also want to bring up. Sorry, you have to bear with me. I'm also driving a Standard right now and trying to type, make a video. And my phone's broken, so when I touch the L button, it also pushes enter at the same time. So it's a major, major pain, if you couldn't imagine. I've seen this in a couple places, and I felt the need to show it. Now, I hope nobody minds which websites I'm using. I just am using a website that I know has the scriptures I am looking for, and very easy to get to them, and it's, from my understanding, pretty accurate. I'll be able to tell you better here in a second. So, as we all know, August 21st, 2017, the so-called Great American Eclipse took place. August 25th, Harvey decided to slam the Gulf side of Texas and then dump 50 plus inches of rain directly onto Texas. Then, September 25th, Irma decided to make landfall and start wrecking land. Right? Right. Now, ironic or coincidence? I don't think either. I think absolute sign, because this is Luke 21, eclipse 25, Harvey, or Luke 21, eclipse 25, Irma. So, pretty crazy, right? There will be signs in the sun, moon, and stars. On earth, nations will be in anguish and perplexity at the... This is not correct. I'm sorry. It gives you the gist. So here, let me start that again. Like I said, I'm driving a Standard, so forgive me. There will be signs in the sun, moon, and stars. On the earth, nations will be in anguish and perplexity at the roaring and tossing of the sea. Now, that is that is worded differently than the verse, the scripture I read. But the roaring and tossing of the sea, it's ironic, right? Once again, my belief, no, not at all. I think it's an absolute and complete and total sign. So, it literally throws the eclipse and the roaring and tossing seas into this one scripture right here. Straight up. I mean, it's as plain as it gets, right? Okay. Now, let's carry on. So, back to Revelation 12. Like I said, you know, a year or two ago, I would have been like, yeah, right, no chance. Maybe even 3 years, I'm not quite sure. My mind, when I was a child, I was raised insanely Christian. I went to church all the time, and then I started finding out about all these other religions, and I strictly remember asking my parents or my mother, I was like, you know, Mom, what if our religion is not the right one? What if we are not doing the right thing? You know? So that really turned me off the whole religion and faith-based beliefs. You know, and then I started doing the space and the UFOs and the aliens and, you know, the science and all that. Logic, all about it. But then, as the years go by, I start looking into the things that are taught to us as fact, and I start to question it because it's absolute insanity, all of it. So here we go. Let's go ahead and read Revelation 12. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. That's Leo, and the woman being Virgo. I'm sure you know about this if you're watching this video. You've looked into it at least a little bit. And she, being with child, see, this is so wrong. It's like, you know, the other scriptures I read says like painfully bearing a child and all this and that. So this is like modernized scripture, and I don't really like it. So I apologize about that. If I think about it, I will get a link to the absolute scripture that we know of, the ones we know better. All right. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads. And his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. Now, I'm not going to read all this. Like I said, I am driving a Standard, and I'm also now driving behind a tractor that's driving insanely slow, and I have to look to pass. One way or another, there will be links to this Bible Gateway passages, or maybe, like I said, even the old scripture, just so you can read it in the unmodern version. So, now as you heard, the signs in heaven: Virgo, clothed with the sun, with the moon at her feet, and a crown of 12 stars, right? Now, why is that anything special? Because that alignment is happening. And I do believe Jupiter is kind of like, I think, if I'm wrong, you are more than welcome to correct me. Just don't do it in a rude manner, because I'm trying to drive and I'm not entirely sure completely 100%, but I do believe it's Mercury, Venus, Mercury, Venus, Earth, the moon, Mars, and Jupiter are all aligned, and Virgo's right there, the moon, clothed with the sun, and then Leo at her head, a crown of 12 stars, and then the great red dragon is, you know, basically between Virgo, the constellation's legs, waiting to devour the child that Virgo will be giving birth to. So, with that being said, I happened to jump on Google Sky, and start glancing around and, you know, seeing what all I could see, if there's anything, you know, crazy or whatever. And to my surprise, absolutely something crazy, by the way. Let's go ahead and pop this up. Go to Virgo. Now, as you can see, that's Virgo, the constellation. And it kind of looks as if she's laying there, legs, you know, in the position as if she is giving birth. Her arms up as if she is, you know, wailing in pain, because it does say painfully giving birth, you know. So, let's carry on, shall we? There you go, Virgo. Now, the great red dragon is waiting for the child so it can devour it at the moment it is born. Nothing there, right? Now, here's where the surprising thing came in. Switch it over to infrared. And look at what we have here. Same spot, right there between Virgo's legs. A lot of people that are making videos right now and referring to this are calling this Planet X, Nibiru, Nemesis, whatever you want to call that, you know, planet, the rogue sun. But I don't think that is what that is. I used to be a very firm believer in Nibiru, you know, and the whole Planet X thing. I was a firm believer. But, like I said, now with my new belief and what I have stumbled across in my truth travels, I no longer believe that Planet X is what this is. Now, here's the strange thing, right? Why does Google Sky feel the need to black that out? You see what I'm saying? And it's in infrared. That's the only way you can see this great red dragon, infrared, red dragon. It's just very strange that that is actually completely and totally blacked out. That blows my mind. So I'm about to cut this video though. Like I said, you know, I'm driving and it's a standard, and I'm driving on dark black country roads because I live up in the middle of nowhere. But I thought this was quite insane to stumble across this stuff, the signs and the prophecies that we are literally seeing daily now. And these numbers and these years and everything goes much, much deeper. A channel that really keeps me in line with scriptures and events that are happening, Omega Watchman. I highly recommend checking out that channel. Omega Watchman. Watchman, not Watchman, Watchman. So, Omega Watchman. Awesome videos, awesome quality. So, highly recommend checking his channel out. Maybe giving a subscribe button a click. But, yeah. So, I just wanted to show that Google Sky decided to black out this infrared image between Virgo's legs as she gives birth. The great signs in the heavens. And it's very strange because this all comes, you know, a couple years ago, the two blood moons and the super moon at the same time. And then what was it, a lunar eclipse also a couple years ago. And it was 4 blood moons, or, yeah, 4 blood moons, or no. It was either 4 blood moons that were all super moons over 2 years, and it was separated in the middle by a full lunar eclipse, or vice versa. I cannot remember exactly, but that would be a very big sign in the heavens, would it not? And then we have the great American eclipse that I actually made a previous video about, all the coincidental things that just you know, most people would call coincidence. Like I always tell you, I do not believe in coincidence, so therefore I do not call it that. But all the very symbolic things all about the Great American Eclipse, and that's definitely a sign in the heavens. And then we have Revelation 12, from what we can see, showing up in the constellation Virgo. And this is coming up. The 23rd of this month is when this is supposed to go down. You know what I'm saying? So very, very soon, we should see Virgo clothed by the sun with the moon at her feet, and Leo as the crown, and then the great red dragon. And one more thing about the great red dragon. Like I said, if you want to check this out on Google Sky, make sure you click infrared and you search for Virgo, and you zoom in between her legs where the baby would be born, the man-child would be born. Also, the thing though about the great red dragon, in my opinion now, is, you know, we all know my beliefs. We all know that I'm a flat earther, and we all know that I'm a very firm flat earther nowadays. And once you go flat, you basically never will go back, because you have no proof to go back. But we're not doing a flat earth video, so let me go ahead and carry on with what I'm saying. The great red dragon, it says when it sweeps its tail across the sky, 1/3 of all the stars in the sky shall fall to earth. Now, 1/3 of all the stars in the sky shall fall to earth when the great red dragon swipes its tail. Now that is intense, because I mean, have you ever been somewhere where it's dark and looked up at the sky? There are a lot of stars. Now, I don't know if you have seen the fireball stories that have been happening all over the place right now. Massive fireballs being spotted all over the place, falling to the earth. As you know, I personally don't believe they are meteorites flying from outer space, but I believe it's clearly something because we can see it. But like I said, I just wanted to touch on this, Revelation 12, and what you can actually see for yourself on Google Sky. So check it out. I'll have links in the description. Peace, y'all.